Got it. Now, roughly, what were you making a week cash? You know, obviously you had probably some legal stuff going. That's your business. But the illegal stuff, mob-related stuff, what kind of revenue were you making a week or month, roughly?
Well, you got to remember, it varied. So if you made, you know, in reality, if I made 1,500 to 2,000 or whatever a week, and then it would vary also with if you're pulling something in, if you're putting more out, it would fluctuate. So if you called in, you could also call money in if there's an issue.
Yeah.
And then you would be losing that, or, you know, it just varied. There was a time when someone had about $15,000 of my money, and they went and reached out to a very wealthy capo-regime in our Borgata. And he's from the other side and done time on the other side, and was very, very big in the junk business, very wealthy. And he had called to meet with me. And I knew what it was about because I was putting pressure on this guy because this guy was playing games.
Yeah.
And I knew the connection there. But what I did, and here's something that no one does.
Yeah.
Whenever you're sitting down with somebody, and this goes for business too, and it's not, when I use this expression, it's not that these people were my enemies. Know thy enemy. Know who's sitting across from you. Yeah. And these people were not my enemies. These people were my brothers, right? But you need to do your homework. You need to do your homework. And a lot of guys walk into sit-downs unprepared and they lose. I have never lost one, just so you know, for the record. And the reason being is that you have to know because civilians or guys that are with you will lie to get you to help them, and you're going in on the blind. And if somebody's prepared on the other end and they know that lie, you're fucked, because, excuse my language, but you're losing that. So anyway, I had done my homework, and I come to find out, okay, he wants to meet with me. I know it's about this guy. I need to find out, is the guy with him? And I find out that the guy is not with him. He's with the Bonannos. So around somebody with the Bonannos. So, which in the street they call them bananas. I always call them bananas. I don't know why they call them bananas. But anyway, so when I go meet with this guy, who's a multi-millionaire 10 times over, right? And he is a skipper in our family. And he's telling me about this guy, and that he's, you know, puts his hands to his throat. Oh, he's getting, you know, he's up to here, he's choking. And I said to him, well, let me ask you a question. Is he with you?
Yeah.
Oh, no. He says, oh, you know, and he goes to the thing. I says, well, then why are you here talking to him? And he explained that he was away and he knows the father, you know, from the other side in Venezuela. And he went into this whole thing, and that's all well and good. But I said to him, look, if you're coming here and you're helping him as a friend, and meaning that he's a friend, you know, you're friendly with the guy, then why don't you give me my money and you give him the break? Correct. You know, he had the balls to tell me, well, right now is a bad time. And I don't even want to tell you the number figure behind this guy, that he could fill buildings up with money. And it's a bad time. And maybe after the holidays, I'm saying this guy probably got it in his back pocket. And that's what you're dealing with there.
Yeah.
You know, so that's also what you're dealing with in that business, and why numbers of what you're making can fluctuate, because you want to pull that in, and that ends that pay that you're getting. So it goes up and down. And then there was guys, and this is very, very tricky, and you got to be very careful. Yeah. There are guys who will come and want to borrow money and then make it known that, look, I'm only going to borrow it for 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to pay you the VIG up front. And this is where it becomes tricky. And as you know, the VIG is the weekly payments that you're getting that has nothing to do with the principal, right? With the money you're lending. So it's tricky, because you're going to give this guy, let's just say 10,000, and I'm going to give John Doe 10,000, and John Doe is going to take part of my 10,000 and hand me back the big money up front.
Yeah.
So he's using my money to pay me, and you're always taking the chance. Like, what is he going to do? Is he going to take off with this money? Is he setting me up? Am I getting this money back in 6 months? Am I going to have to chase him after 6 months? But it worked out, luckily for me, a couple of times that I did do that. The 6 months came up, and the person came back and gave me the money. So I made quick whatever calculation it was on the 10,000, whether it be 300 or whatever it was. You got to be careful not to choke a guy, because people were charging 5 points, and they're taking 500 on a guy a week. And the biggest mistake that I learned, and there was a lot of times I tried to, like I just mentioned, I tried to give my advice on limiting our exposure to surveillance, and give my advice on a lot. And a lot of times it was taken in the wrong way. Like, I think I know better than the next person. I don't. I just learned from history. History is the biggest teacher in that life.